Let's learn English through easy stories. Today we ask some people, "Hey waiters, tell us your most hilarious restaurant story." The waiter who got lost in the restaurant. A couple of months ago, I started working as a waiter at a popular local restaurant. It was my first week on the job, and I was still learning my way around the place. The restaurant was quite large, with a tricky layout full of hallways and corners. One busy lunch shift, I was carrying a tray full of food and trying to find my way back to the kitchen. Suddenly, I realized I was lost. I had taken a wrong turn somewhere, and the kitchen was nowhere in sight. I looked around nervously, holding the tray steady to avoid dropping anything. I spotted a table with a small group of customers. They were smiling and chatting quietly. I walked over and politely asked, "Excuse me, can you help me? I'm trying to find the kitchen, but I'm a bit lost." The customers laughed gently, and one of them said, "You're just 2 doors down and then a left." I thanked them, feeling both relieved and a little embarrassed. As I turned to leave, someone from the table called out, "Be careful with that tray." I smiled and said, "I will, thank you." On my way to the kitchen, I realized how funny the situation was. A waiter asking customers for directions. It was definitely not something I expected on my first week. Later, I shared the story with my co-workers, and they laughed and teased me, saying, "That's a rookie move." From that day on, I made sure to study the restaurant layout better. But I also learned something important. It's okay to ask for help, and sometimes, a funny mistake can make the workday more enjoyable. The customers at that table became regulars, and every time I serve them now, we share a little laugh about the day I got lost. That experience taught me to stay calm, be humble, and enjoy the small funny moments at work. After all, working in a restaurant is not just about serving food. It's about connecting with people, and sometimes finding your way with a little help from new friends. The waiter singing orders. A few months ago, I was working a busy dinner shift at a small but popular restaurant. It was one of those nights when the place was packed, and the kitchen was running at full speed. I was still fairly new as a waiter, and I sometimes struggled to remember all the orders correctly, especially when multiple tables wanted different dishes. That night, I decided to try something a little different. When I walked over to take the orders from a lively group of customers, I began to sing their order instead of just saying it. The customers looked surprised at first, but then they started smiling and laughing. I sang, "2 cheeseburgers with fries," and a garden salad on the side. One of the customers clapped and said, "Wow, you should be a singer, not just a waiter." I laughed and continued, adding a little rhythm and fun to my performance. I sang the next orders for drinks and desserts, and soon the whole table was joining in, clapping and cheering me on. Other customers nearby noticed and started watching. Some smiled and tapped their feet to my silly tune. My singing helped me remember the orders better, and it made the atmosphere in the restaurant lighter and more fun. When I finally delivered the food, the customers thanked me, saying it was the most entertaining meal they'd had in a long time. After the meal, one customer joked, "You should sing every order. We'll come back just to hear you." I felt proud and happy. That little idea made the night special for everyone, including me. Later, I told my co-workers about my singing experiment. They laughed and said they wanted me to sing for their tables too. That night taught me an important lesson. Sometimes, Adding a bit of creativity and humor can turn a regular job into a memorable experience. Customers don't just come for the food, they come for the moments that make them smile. Since then, I've kept singing orders occasionally, and it always brings laughter and joy. I realized that being a waiter isn't just about taking orders and serving food. It's also about connecting with people, making their day better in unexpected ways. So, if you ever feel nervous or stressed at work, try adding a little fun. You never know how much difference it can make. The dog that ordered a treat. One sunny afternoon, I was working as a waiter at a cozy neighborhood restaurant. It was a calm day with a few customers scattered around. A young woman walked in with her dog, a fluffy golden retriever named Buddy. She smiled warmly as she led him to a table outside. Buddy was a well-behaved dog, sitting quietly by her side and wagging his tail. The woman ordered her meal, and I noticed Buddy looking up at me with big, hopeful eyes. Curious, I asked, would Buddy like a treat too? She laughed and said, "Oh yes, he's a very good boy. He's been so patient today." I went to the kitchen and brought out a small dog biscuit. When I came back, Buddy sat up straight, as if he knew something special was happening. I placed the treat gently on a small plate in front of him. To everyone's surprise, Buddy looked at me, then softly barked twice. The woman smiled and said, "That's his way of ordering." Buddy barked again, and the whole table, including other customers nearby, laughed and smiled. It felt like Buddy was really talking to us, asking politely for his treat. I joked, "Well, Buddy, your order is ready." Throughout the meal, Buddy continued to be the star of the restaurant. He was calm, happy, and made the atmosphere even warmer. Petting him and asking questions about the clever dog, the woman told me, "Buddy loves coming here because everyone is so friendly. And he loves treats, of course." When the meal ended, she thanked me and said, "This was such a special day for Buddy and me. He felt so welcome, and that means a lot." That afternoon reminded me how animals can bring joy to everyone. Even a simple treat and a little attention can create memorable moments. It also showed me how important it is to welcome every guest, whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. Since then, I always look for opportunities to make our furry friends feel special too. Sometimes, it's the little things, like a dog ordering a treat, that make work truly rewarding. The customer talking to a plant. In 2018, I was working as a waiter at a small, cozy restaurant. We had a big green plant in the corner, a tall leafy fern that stood near the window. One regular customer, a middle-aged man named Mr. Johnson, would come in almost every week. He was quiet and polite, but what made him special was the way he talked to the plant. Every time he sat down near the plant, he would smile and say hello to it, just like it was a pet or a good friend. One day, as I was serving his meal, I heard him say, "Good morning, Mr. Green. Looking fresh today, aren't you?" I smiled and asked, "Do you talk to the plants every time you visit?" He laughed and said, "Yes, I do. It's my little tradition. Plants need love and company too." Other customers nearby noticed this funny habit. Soon, they started waving and talking to the plant as well. A little girl at a nearby table said loudly, "Hello, Mr. Green. How are you today?" Her parents chuckled, and the restaurant filled with cheerful energy. One evening, We even had a customer bring a small watering can and carefully watered the plant while talking to it. That little green plant became the restaurant's unofficial mascot. We started calling it Mr. Green, and customers would ask about it when they visited. Mr. Johnson's habit had started a fun and heartwarming trend. It showed me how small things, like talking to a plant, can bring people together and create smiles. Even though it sounds silly, it reminded me that kindness and a little humor can make any place feel welcoming. Sometimes, the best memories come from unexpected moments, like a customer talking to a plant and turning it into a special part of everyone's day.